Within the Water Office team, we strongly believe in the single source of truth and single point of entry paradigm. We envisage our software to be that central piece of software where the user can get a 360-degree view upon the assets of the network. So, along with the GIS coordinates of your assets, you can get the real-time perspective upon those assets from your SCADA system, whether the pump is working or if it's stopped and so on and so forth. You can also add your ERP data, to get, for example, the health card of the asset you're currently looking at. All of that, from this single point of entry software being Water Office. In this particular demo, I'll be looking at the kind of integration that we can achieve by adding a SCADA system along to the Water Office product. Because we believe that the usability goes well beyond, just the sum of its parts in this particular situation. What we're looking at the moment is a treatment plant. You see it here. That has two alternative inputs. So there's this reservoir, and this would be one input. The other input would be these 4 wells. All right. Let me switch to the SCADA panel of this particular network. So this would be the treatment station, and over here we see the dam and the reservoir. There's a sensor there that tells us the heights of the level of the water. And over here you see the 4 wells that go via this pumping station and go back into the treatment plants. All right, as you can see, there's a lot of information that goes, for example, with this particular treatment plant. There are some, excuse me, input parameters. There are some output parameters, such as the pH turbidity in, pH turbidity out, concentration of chlorine. So one very easy type of integration that we were able to achieve was to get that type of information right here, rather than having it isolated to the SCADA panel. So what I'm doing is I'm forcing right now the visualization to SCADA, and then along to the normal data that's available in Water Office. At the time when the map gets refreshed, I get all sorts of information, such as the pH, the input pH, the output pH. If I refresh the map, I would obviously be able to get some different values depending on the current state. So this is pretty real time, or near real time, if you will. So that's one type of information. We've been able to provide this integration within the internal worlds as well. So, for example, I'm going now to this pumping station. Maybe I should switch off the satellite view. It's not really helping us a lot here. All right, let it to default. Or going to the internal worlds of this pumping station. All right, I've got 2 pumps, a few valves. If I switch on the SCADA visualization, all right, so it's PT6. Oops, sorry, let me, no, I was right. PT6, it would be this. So as you can see, there are 2 pumps, and these are EV15 and EV16. These are the 2 valves. They open, as the code shows it here. So EV15, the electric valves are on. I can see P12 is on, P13 is off. I can simulate, for example, for P13. Obviously, I could stop it, but I can also activate a failure. All right. So if I switch now here and refresh that, I can obviously see how the state of the pump changes to reflect the near real-time states. Okay, I'll put it back to, so cancel the failure, put it back to stop. Okay, All right, so you should be able to pick it up here. Right. So, okay, we're able to get some aspects of those assets from real time and display them here. But there's actually even more that can be done once you hook up WaterOffice with the SCADA system. And let me propose to you the following scenario. Let's say that this particular flow meter tells us, I'm going to force the value 0, which will automatically trigger an alarm here. I get things flashing up here telling me that there's no water coming out of that pumping station. This is a very extreme example, because if there's no water coming out of the pumping station and the pumps are on, bad things would happen. But for this particular scenario, let's just go with that. So put it back to 32, whatever that was. What's important to know is that I may have an alarm in SCADA that tells me that the water is not coming out of this particular pumping station. What I can do in WaterOffice, I can takes a bit. I can query the alarms in SCADA. Data. Okay, it took a while. Sorry. I can query all of these alarms and make them available in WaterOffice. This will allow me to go to the exact place where that alarm was triggered. So the hour of the alarm is today, and yeah, the alarm tells me in Romanian that there's no water coming out of FTO5. That's the flow meter. All right, if I just go there, all right, maybe zoom in a little bit harder. All right, I can see here the sampling points, all right, which is associated. The WaterOffice object is this measurement points, which is associated to this flow meter in SCADA. So this is how I know that one is this one. All right, and the alarm tells me that there's no water coming out of that pumping station. What I can do is I can, based on that, I can create an outage from this alarm, and I could then see, oops, let me select it. So this would be the simulated outage. And I could then see all of the area, all of the network that it's actually going to be affected. So you can see how this is really complementary to that. There's not a lot more information coming out in SCADA. I wouldn't know exactly what's what are the customers that are going to be affected. What else is downstream? But I can get all of that in here, as long as WaterOffice is also coupled with the customer information system. So in a nutshell, this is where we see a lot of benefits of coupling WaterOffice with other systems. Thank you.